Hi everyone, welcome to week 5, our second to last week of the class. It went by so quickly. Just a quick reminder, when you do get a notice that the course evaluation has opened, if you could please take a few minutes of your time and provide some feedback for me. Just like I provide feedback to you on your assignments, it's really important for me to get feedback from all of you so I can be a better instructor and I can make changes to the class that you think would be helpful. So for week 4, you guys did a great job talking about bullying. One thing I just want to make sure everybody has a good understanding of is that we expect young children to have behaviors that we may not like. It's developmental. And I think I use the example of a toddler biting. We don't like toddlers to bite, but if a toddler bites, it's not considered developmentally inappropriate behavior because toddlers sometimes, when they don't have their words, they may use their teeth instead. With bullying, though, we need to keep in mind that it really doesn't have to do with just aggressive behavior. It has to do with behavior over time, a pattern of behavior, and also intent to harm. So keep that in mind when you're using the word bullying, what the definition of bullying is. I'm not telling you not to address negative behaviors, but if you're going to tag the label of bully onto something, make sure it really does fit the description of bullying. Also, thank you so much for sharing all of your stories in our discussion last week and in your assignments. It sounds like you all have experienced some pretty challenging situations and that you've done some really great critical thinking about how these kind of situations could get handled. For week 5, we're going to talk about effective guidance interventions. We're going to talk about really knowing when to intervene, which can be really tough. A lot of you have mentioned the need for observing young children while they're interacting, while they're at play, and knowing when to let a child work through a situation and when you need to intervene and facilitate or keep them safe can be challenging. So this week I'm going to ask that you read the chapter 10 in your Positive Child Guidance textbook about effective guidance interventions. I do have some videos that you can watch for to supplement your textbook. And then for our discussion this week, we're going to talk about behaviors that you might see in a classroom that may not require very intense interventions and what kind of strategies you could use. And when do you think they would likely be effective, or when you have to sort of draw that line about what does need a pretty specific intensive intervention, and use examples which you guys are all great at doing in your posts. Remember to use resources that you've either found in your own research or even in our textbook as a resource, or the videos that are optional as a resource to support your thinking. And then our assignment for this week is going to be that we're going to talk about children modeling adult behaviors and really knowing our hot button issues. Are there certain behaviors that we just cannot tolerate? I used to have a paraprofessional in my classroom who was the same paraprofessional I had for years. She could not take when I had the kids step in paint and then use their feet to paint. And if they got it all silly, because she was so attuned to, oh my goodness, if they step off that paper and they have paint on their feet. So that a hot button issue for her was she had a definite line in the sand for how much of a mess could be tolerated. So I'd like you to really think about your strengths and your weaknesses regarding reacting to behavior. And some of you have already started to sort of unearth that in our other texts and our other discussions and assignments in the past few weeks. So what things do you need to really be aware of so you can be more effective? And then how can you model positive language and behavior for your children in your classroom or your own children? And I think I saw quite a few examples of adult voices. If adults are yelling back and forth across the room, what are we modeling for the children? And then we're telling children to use quiet indoor voices, but they're seeing adults and hearing adults yell across the classroom who are not using their indoor voices. So that will be our assignment for this week. And then we will be at week 6. I'm truly enjoying learning with all of you. And again, don't forget when you do get the course evaluation to make sure you let me know what we could do differently in this class to make it a more effective learning experience. As always, text me if you need anything from me. I will usually get back to you within the hour. And if you would like to set up a time to have either a FaceTime conversation, a Zoom conversation, or just talk on the phone, let me know. Have a great week 5, and I look forward to hearing from all of you in the discussion and to reviewing your assignments. Take care.